Hey, welcome to the Black Guy Tips podcast. I'm your host, Rod. Joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
and we're live on a Sunday morning, early Sunday morning, doing podcasting. Find us everywhere you get podcasts. Look in the show notes. You'll see our live show is coming up on the 28th. That is this upcoming Friday. Blumenthal Center for Performing Arts. The link for the tickets is in the show notes. Buy the tickets. You don't have to be there in person. You can be there virtually. It's at 7 p.m. JL Covan's going to be there. He's going to be doing a little bit of stand-up, opening up for us, and then we're going to do the show. And then JL's going to be a guest, and Justin's going to be a guest, and we're going to have prizes, and we're going to play games, and the audience is going to participate. We're going to have a Ask Me Anything. They can ask us questions and everything. It's going to be a fun time. And speaking of guests that have opened up for us in the past, everyone's fave, your fave, our fave, we love him. He was voted best guest when we used to do the Tippies, the award show. It is the actor of stage and screen. It is podcaster, stand-up comedian Chris Lamberth. What's up, my man?
Hey guys, thanks again for having me. As always a pleasure to chop it up with y'all, to see your adorable faces and shit. It's always good. That was I would say, and I've said it before, that was like what was that, 2018 we did that?
Something like that, yeah. It's been a minute.
Yes.
Yeah, that was 2018, and that was an honor for me to get to do that. And your first live show. I'm the first. I hit it first.
Yeah. You were.
He hit it first. Dr. Ray J.
First. But it was good because it was a marker in my career where it was like I was invited to come and perform, where you kind of chase things as in show business, and when you realize you really shouldn't be chasing it. As the great Kendrick Lamar once said, I used to want to be Jay-Z until I realized Jay wasn't me. So
Right.
I'm saying, so it's like
you killed it, man. It was fun. You set a high bar, man. Like everybody we've had out has really like killed it. The audience has loved it. So I can't wait to see what JL does as well. JL is a guy I wouldn't know if not for you. So like you really linked that whole thing up back in the day. So the 7 degrees of Chris Lamberth continues throughout our lives.
We have a lot of that, don't we?
Yeah.
Everybody has achieved great heights except me. No, I'm just not.
Stop.
It's cool. Like I think that's what it's supposed to be. And I think, God, I'm getting corny off the rip. When we met from the Morning Jones, and to see how far everybody has come, and it's just like, I guess you kind of say it's the almost the Bomani Jones universe in a lot of ways, but
it is.
Obviously everybody has carved out their own space and has done great things. But I remember just being like, it's a testament to all the bullshit that we talk about on the internet, how it's toxic. But shit, man, 2007, 2008-ish.
It was very different.
Wasn't that bad?
People were themselves, and like they weren't trying to be a brand. Like some of the people that I'm really, really close to now, I literally met them on the internet. When people used to tell you that the internet was full of a bunch, now it's full of a bunch of crazies. But back then they used to say it was full of a bunch of crazies. When most people was just being themselves, like naturally, even celebrities were just being, even to the detriment of some of them, because nobody understood what the internet was going to turn into.
Right.
But at that time, people didn't have this. It was a lawlessness and a freedom that was special at that time that can never be duplicated again. And it was almost like you had to be there, because there was a certain generation that never got to experience that. And so their whole life, the internet has always been a toxic place. So when, people of a certain age be like, hey, dog, like I actually, knew a person for 10 years before I met them in real life. And people go, what's wrong with you? You go, no, like the times have changed for good and for bad, but they've changed.
Yeah. And in this time, I think, you're right, Karen. And this time it's like it's easy to focus on the negative. And obviously I know what's going on, and you're aware of stuff. Like I listen to you guys and find out about information, listen to the news, and different podcasts, but it's like there's some good. It ain't all bad, you know.
Right.
Right.
All bad, and in a way, as Black people, this being Black History Month, we've always had adversity. We've always had, people against us, and it's a testament to us to keep moving, keep going on, keep pressing on.
Yeah, you have to, because one thing I've realized about Black people and most oppressed people is that there's always hope. And the internet and the world and social media, their whole thing is to make you think, even about all the bullshit that Trump and all them doing, the whole tactic is hopelessness. And I don't think people understand that. They want you in a place of panic. They want you in a place of hopelessness, because once you get there, you don't have any strategy. You're not planning your next move. It's like you're stuck there because you're too busy looking around versus thinking of a solution. Even if you don't see the solution, starting something that could get the process so you can put it in somebody's hands so they can finish whatever the vision of the dream was, because that's what our ancestors had to do. People gotta realize people died that never in their lifetime seen a day of freedom. They were chained their entire lives, but they had to have hope that one day, one generation would be free. So we have to have that same thing. Like you have to fight against the fear. And I know it's very hard to do because it's a mental thing. You have to fight against the fear. You have to fight against the hopelessness. You have to fight against the feeling inside of you that just want to give up. The feeling inside of you that says it's pointless. The feeling inside of you that says, why am I doing this? What's the point? And you have to remember that somebody somewhere died so that you could be here right now and have the right to be angry and have the right to protest and have the right to these rights that you have. Somebody sacrificed for that, and so you have to be willing to sacrifice for someone else. And people now are not willing to sacrifice for anybody outside themselves. They want you to sacrifice for them, but they're not willing to sacrifice for someone else. And a lot of times I think that that's the problem. Also, the thing is, people feel realize it's community out there. There are a lot of people that actually think the way you do, but because everybody is so divided and everybody is in this place of hopelessness, you're not looking for the like-minded people that are actually like, bitch, I didn't want this either. Bitch, I didn't vote for this either. I want these people out of office. I want to do some things, because if enough of those people get together, that hope will shine. And the thing is, it's out there, but people have got to be willing to look for it. And so sometimes, me and Roger talked about this, you have to learn how to turn shit off and go look for the hope. Because if you don't look for it, it is not going to find you.
Right.
All right.
You're absolutely right.
That is the word for the day. Everybody pass the collection plate around. I don't know how we got there, but social media has changed. But look for the hope, everybody. Okay. Now to do the sick and shut in list.
Sick and shut in. All right, Deacon.
I guess this is Sunday. We did the show too early on the Sundays.
My bad.
Karen's delivering the word.
We just finished. We just wrapped.
I was gonna ask Chris just how's he doing lately, but that feels like it's beneath what the show is at this point.
You know how he's doing.
Well, how's Tricks? How's Tricks, Chris?
It's pretty good, and I don't know if I make this announcement now, but I wanted to make it. I even pushed the release date of my pod out, but I wanted to do it here. I'm going to be recording a comedy special album, whatever you call it, in June.
Exclusive.
Breaking news.
June 27th at Caveat in New York City, where I started doing stand-up. I've been doing stand-up for 16 years, and it's time. It's time to stop being so precious. I'm dropping it in the chat. If you live in the New York area, it's a month past the Kendrick Lamar concert. I'm going to see Kendrick. Right. They initially scheduled the date. The first date they gave me was like May 8th, and I said, I can't. I don't want to hurt Kendrick and SZA. I don't want to hurt them.
Smart. That was nice of you.
And I did not want to do anything the same weekend that they were going to be in town. So I was like, let me fall back. And we settled on this date. It's 2 shows, a 7:00 show, a 9 and a 9:30 show. It's me. an evening with Chris Lamberth, comedy, stories, bars, everything. I'm giving you everything I've got. This is the best thing I've ever done. It will have been the best thing I've ever done at this point in my life. I've done a lot of cool shit, but it's time. If you've liked anything I've ever done on this show or with JL or Three Guys On or seen me on TV, anything.
Or your previous stand-up special, Failed Running Back.
Or Failed Running Back that was
Yeah, so
released
like
during the pandemic. Yeah.
yeah, you guys can get a preview of what's to come there. I've seen Chris perform live a few times now, and I mean, it's always smart. It's always funny. Follow him on social media. He's been sharing some of his stand-up clips lately. I've been cracking up at him. And yeah, man, I can't wait for it, man. And our audience, they show up, they support. You're one of everybody's fave guests on here.
Yes, you are.
So I know that taping is gonna be lit. Do you already have like who's opening for you and all that stuff, or you working on it?
I had someone in mind. I'm trying to. There's one person who was going to do it, but he's not going to be out of town, and but that would have been crazy. But I don't want to say yet. I'll make an announcement.
Come back and let us know. We got plenty of time till it's time. So, but get your tickets, man. Make sure y'all show up and support, and also just to have a good time. Because I wouldn't tell y'all to go see anybody that I didn't think was funny. So make sure y'all go see Chris. But yeah, that's dope, bro. I'm really happy for you, and I'm proud of you too, man. Because like, I know when we first talked, you were like, I don't know, I'm gonna come out with a stand-up special. I need to do like more. And I'm like, bro, hasn't it been like 10 years? Like, there's gotta be 30 minutes of shit you can say that you can burn and just to have that thing out there. And one of the things I found is like when you stop being so like when you put that first one out, it takes away the like preciousness of it, because you just realize, okay, this is part of the process. You put a thing out, it's just a moment in time. It just captures that. There's gonna be things you look back and you're smiling and you're proud of. There's gonna be things you look back and you go, oh, I could do better now than that. Yeah. And then you just put out another blip in time. You just capture another moment with the next special. And I think that's like the key to a lot of this stuff, is just like not being too precious. Like, you want to be good,
right?
But sometimes people can let either the allure of the idea of being perfect paralyze them, like they're just like, oh man, I need to have a perfect. If this shit is not Chris Rock bring the pain, then why would I even do a special? It's like, because you're you and he's Chris Rock. Fuck
right
that.
You're not the same.
Do your own shit.
I remember seeing this had to be maybe 2014, probably 2014, early. The aughts are the zeros. What are the teens?
Let's go with the teens.
Okay, in the teens, I was watching Bill Burr at the Westbury Theater in Long Island. And one of my favorite bits of his, he was just starting to work on it, was this helicopter bit. And I was sitting there and I was just like, what the fuck, man? What am I doing? I was like, what am I doing? Like, it's just like, can I even? And then I was like, no, I got to keep going. I got to find what's my helicopter bit. What's my thing that's going to make, that's going to push me. And it's something that you can never be big. You can never be bigger than the art form, but to try. And I always go with that Lupe Fiasco line. Did you improve on the design? Did you do something new? And like, always trying to like push for that. And I take it seriously. So when I'm on stage, the audience doesn't, like I care, but I'm pouring over these thoughts or beating myself up in the background, like in the Bat Cave or wherever, Fortress of Solitude, whatever you nerds like, whichever one, that's what
I say in the Spider-Man 1-bedroom apartment.
Yeah, I like that one better because Spider-Man's the most relatable to me. Yeah. So it's just like, just kind of like, hey man, I'm working on this. I'm in the lab, as the kids say, as the rappers say, and I'm working on it. And that to me is the fun part. The performance is really just the icing on the cake, where it's like, you've done the work and this material has been in. in hostile territory where there weren't that many Black people or there weren't any Black people. And it's gonna and it's battle tested, and it's gonna be a good time. It's been done in Trump country. And people will say after the show, I was in Long Island last week, like, man, your stuff was so relatable. You know, I was like, well, thanks, man. The guy who was a plumber, 33-year-old white plumber, had kids and was you know, and the Black people, the 6 Black people that was there, that probably saw my Black face on the website, was like, oh, let's go see this guy. And then in the parking lot, they were like, man, we really liked you, man. You were really funny. And I was like, thank you. I did my job.
That's dope, man. I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad you're doing well as well. And Brandon Collins is like producing this.
Brandon Collins is producing it. Friend of the pod, friend of, you know, the community and everything. And Jeff Cerulli, a good buddy of mine that comes on the pod, is my pod a lot with JL. He's going to be directing it. He put out his own special last year, and he's really talented. He's a documentarian, and so we're gonna do this at Caveat. If any of you are in New York City to see Drunk Black History, they had a show there before, and I just fell in love with that venue. First of all, going to see them right before the pandemic, and then Brandon asked me to do a show that he was producing for the New York Comedy Festival, and it just kind of dawned on me in November where it's like, I gotta try to do something. And that place, Caveat, is like a quintessential New York venue for me, like to do comedy. It's like, it's nondescript on the outside. You go down into a basement, it's a beautiful room. It's kind of like, it's got speakeasy vibes, and you can get your drink on and watch me you know.
Now that's dope. First, because everything Brandon does is well done and professional. So I know you're in good hands with that. And you know, Brandon actually was tweeting last night and texted me that they just did Drunk Black History. I think it was in LA. And he was like, yo, shout out to the Blackout Tips audience. Y'all, they showed up. Like, I was deep in there. They was, you know, obviously our audience is always extremely well behaved and like ready to be into the comedy and stuff. So like, yeah, man, I'm really looking forward to this, man. I know it's gonna be super dope. How's other stuff going in life, man? You still like dating? You still on the apps?
Yeah, I'm still on the apps, still trying to find that one.
Yeah,
I had a date on Tuesday. It's promising.
Oh,
promising. She's Black.
Okay, of course, yes. I regret making that joke 14, 15 years ago.
She's a Black woman. Now, what, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna turn away from Sydney Sweeney, but it's just what
I hear you. No, I made a joke. So those that don't go all the way back to the beginning, a long time ago, Chris came on the show, and this is really before I really understood the power of the internet,
right,
and the power of podcasting. But I made a joke like, oh, Chris is here, he's looking for a white lady, basically, like he's into white women, because he has a thing where he talks about like up and coming like movie stars and stuff, and he'll be like
and stuff,
the white starlets, you know, and he looks at it like you would look at like baseball cards or NBA draft picks or whatever. And I took it and made it a joke into like Chris just wants to marry and love white women. And my God, the way that this joke turned into like it went from like running joke to people being like, so Chris, I guess, wouldn't be interested in this Black actress or whatever. I was like, no, that was a joke. That's not what I meant.
Right.
Well, I mean, I would. I would tell Chris he's cute, but he only wants white women. I was like, that was the joke. Is that he doesn't? That's not what he does.
I don't blame you.
Now I know.
It's his life, y'all.
But now it's been 15 years, and now I feel like every time Chris comes on the show and talks about dating, he has to be like, and she was Black.
Yes, she was
Black.
So everyone knows, okay, I'm on a 3 Black women streak.
Yeah.
Please, the white ladies that I didn't like them because they were white.
Right.
They just
That's true. Yeah.
Right. I feel like that has to be a disclaimer every time. But now what makes a date promising? Like what like how can you feel the vibes of like a promising first date versus this ain't going how it's supposed to go?
Um, man, when she texts you something that you can't say over the podcast way
Yeah.
airways,
Okay.
and you're
Yeah.
just like, oh,
Yeah. That
and
is,
then yeah,
nice.
it might come out, it might be in the special, so you got to come to the show.
On to the special.
Yeah, so I talked about it while I was at the Comedy Cellar on Friday, and it was just like what just happened to me. Like I talk about my life, but
Right.
what makes it special, promising, is if you kiss or you set up the second date while you're on the first,
Oh
and
yeah.
and there's a vibe, and you say to yourself, "Well, I want to see this person again," and I think the feeling's mutual. But yeah, that's definitely. And then what happened? What?
Jawan said in the chat, and if she doesn't pop a red
Red
balloon in your
That
face.
is very true. Like she did
Yeah.
not bring out a balloon and just pop
That's
it in.
good, baby.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really good.
What
Yeah,
have you learned about yourself in the process? You know, because when people use dating apps, you know, there's a learning curve and things. There's something that you learned about yourself through the apps that you were like, oh, okay, this is
that's
different.
fan-
Well, I didn't know this about myself.
that's a fantastic question, Karen. And I think the very first person I went out, because I've been on dates before, I never used the app. So
Right. It's
so
different.
it's been a minute, and it's like the first woman that I went out with, because you can match with people and you could vibe, you think there's something there, you never go out. She will find somebody that she likes more than you, and she has a relationship or whatever and moves on.
Right.
But like the first woman I went out with, I talked to her on the phone, and the first thing she said was, "I'm divorced and I'm looking to get married again." And I said, "Well, would you like to grab something to eat first? You know, to see if if you want to go out and
Right. Let's see where we go from here.
yeah, see where we go from here." And so, and
Pressure. That's a lot of pressure right
Yeah,
there.
because
yeah,
I
and
think
so
for
we
some
did
people
go out. She was beautiful.
oh,
And I think your listeners can understand this. I'm trying to compare it to I don't think I finished this game, but in that first Star Wars, what's that Star Wars game where you're the redheaded boy from Shameless?
Oh yeah. Hold on, I'll look it up. But yeah,
Or Ghost of Tsushima. Anyway, it's like being in a video game. When you first start off, you don't have any powers or you don't have any skills or
Jedi
attributes.
Survivor. But
Jedi
go ahead.
Survivor. And there's like some big boss that comes at you and just like beats the shit out of you. And it's like you can't do anything because you don't have your skills wits about you. So you don't know
right.
how to play the game. And so that person defeats you. And then you have to build yourself up and get battle tested a little bit in order to like really find out, not just be like, can I be appealing to somebody else, but what is this woman bringing to the table? I'm
Right.
not trying to be all red pill, but do I like
But
her?
that's
Instead
right.
of
Because
being
it's
like,
two-way
oh my
street.
god, does she like me? Oh
Right.
no, and being
How hard is it after a bad date to not go home to your podcast mic and start a gender war? Because I feel like that has to be like 75% of male podcast content at this point. Is just coming home and being like, now how come women's got to have, it's like, damn, did she just say don't text me? Like how like are you ever tempted to talk about your dating struggles on the podcast and you have to be like, let me delete this or let me dial this back.
Let me process this.
Yeah, I don't want to sound like these other like fresh and
Right.
fit.
Yeah, well, I talked a little bit about one last week where I had double booked something. I had to postpone the date, and this woman she was beautiful. She was we just talked on the phone twice, and really great conversations, like really
Right.
cool. And I was double booked, and I messed up, and I tried to make it right. She was pissed. And
Damn.
and I just said on and she was like mad at me. Then she like went away to wherever she went to. She had to go to a wedding, and I was like, damn, like I'd like to make it right, and I apologize. And she just picked apart everything that I said because she didn't want to talk to me. So we were
Right.
texting, and I was like, I was like, man, I want to make it right, and You know, it wasn't an R&B talk down. It wasn't baby, baby, baby. I'm sorry, but it was like, damn, I fucked up and I apologize. And then I got to the point where it was like, look, if you want to reach out, hey. And I think I said on the show, I said on last week's show, I really fucked up.
Right.
I really fucked that up.
That sucks, man. That sucks. But also, like, that's still part of life. And I think the dating process is almost like the interviewing process where, like, if you get a job and you're good at your job and you're 10 minutes late on a weekday, it's like not a big deal. But if you are 10 minutes late to the interview, you might not get the job. And so it's like, you know what I mean? Like, double booking happens. It just sucks that, like, it's first date double booking, because then it's like, oh, now I have every reason to extrapolate this out to, like, and you're going to be a shitty ass boyfriend, a shitty ass person in the first place, which does suck. And plus, you know, you never know what else other people have been through. And plus, a beautiful woman, like, you can't, they count their time different. You know what I mean? It's like, you can't waste my time. I'm fine. What the fuck wrong with you?
Yeah. And it was just like, it wasn't just her looks. It was just like, man, she's also Black. She was very smart and it seemed intelligent, and like we definitely had a vibe, and it was just like, damn, I really fucked up.
It is crazy though, because Black women do be fine and shit. I
know.
It's kind of ridiculous. Like, I had this theory about, like, newscasters, where I was like, every Black woman that's a newscaster is fine, but it's. I mean, they're hitting at a very high percentage. It's kind of insane. But I'm just like, maybe I just think all Black women is fine or some shit, because it really is that simple. Where it's just like they figured something out with this shit.
And you do have to have a look on when you're on camera like that as
but it's like the versality is crazy. Like it's not a body type thing. It's not a skin complexion thing. It's not a hair length thing. Like
it's not a type of hair thing.
They just be killing it no matter. Like there's so many newscasts. We played a clip on the show, and then I'm just like thinking to myself, like, damn, she bad as hell. Oh wait, what happened? Somebody shot the president. You know. Oh damn!
A murder happened.
An earthquake.
Oh, I was, I was looking at.
That does suck that, you know, you felt like you blew it or whatever, and but you know, you live to fight another day, and that's just another person that you move that was between you and the person you're gonna be with. So,
and that's a part of the process, because the thing is, the dating part is gonna happen, and some of these things would have happened regardless if you use the app or not. But I think sometimes people overemphasize the apps. Like, the apps are like, they're just terrible. It's like, these apps have been around too long, and too many people have met their mates and been married. And not trying to be funny for it to, and I understand it's not the best, but you know what? People are terrible. So the problem is not the apps. The problem is the people.
Also, like, when you go on a date, do you have like an outfit that's your date outfit, or like, do you have like a cologne? Like, is it like, you know, because you know, when you're doing on job interviews, if you have like an interview suit, like, this is my go-to. Do you have to have like a go-to like fit?
When I feel like I look good, then I look good.
Exactly.
So you try to get the haircut, the shape up, or a nice shirt. Usually just like jeans, and like I'm a flannel guy, and I think I was talking about this recently, where I do, like, in the wintertime, I do like a good flannel. I'm a Duluth Trading Company guy, and I think those are good. I like in the spring summer, I like a nice polo shirt. It's just like, I just come as me, like what I like, and what I feel comfortable in. And
do you have a go-to cologne?
I do have cologne. Yeah. I don't know. I think one's like a Bulgarian, and one's the shit.
Now, how much cologne do you put on? Is it like a spray on the wrist? Do you spray in the air and walk through it, like, or do you do like me in high school, where you just bathed yourself?
Please,
pour it on the top of your head and let it run down your entire body, and then wonder why you have a headache 5 minutes later.
You did not want
to pass out in the car on the way to pick her up.
Like black body spray.
I won't listen. If a woman's eyes ain't watering, then she ain't feeling the cologne.
Shit.
Okay. least be coughing.
Somebody need to be coughing. Her or me, somebody.
We be talking on the phone and like this one particular one,
Why
there
the
was one
cologne
woman,
get in the air filter of the car?
and she was like, I like a man, like she's like, I like a man that smells good. You would be surprised at how these guys are. And I was like, I was thinking about it because normally he's like, I just put the cologne on like I normally, you know, you put. I think my dad taught me just like the neck, and then like the wrist, and then a little bit on the like the on the shirt. But I was thinking about that the date that I went on, she really emphasized she likes it, and then and then like she said, she did say on the dish, you really smell good. And I was like, yeah. When a woman like my ex, when we went out on our first date, and I knew she was going to be a problem. We didn't kiss on the first date, but we had a really nice hug. And she was like, you smell good. And I was like, oh my God, you're a problem. You're going to be a problem.
It was nice.
It smells.
9 months later, we found out that she would, no. She texted me a couple days ago. My ex did, and I was
That's
like,
how it be. That's how it be.
They always know.
You was happy. You went on a promising date, and then it's like
mind your own business.
Somewhere, I don't know if it's the AI, if it's Siri or something. She got
an alert.
She got a reminder on her Facebook, like, remember a year ago or whatever. It was just like, I need to call him.
Apple makes it hard for you to get somebody out of your life.
They really
do. It'll say you take the number out of your phone, and then it's like
Apple has its own memories.
And I remember because I love this woman. There's a part of me that still loves her. Like this is a woman that
the phone
to be honest, to be really out there. I was like, oh, I can be somebody who loves somebody and puts them before myself.
Right.
And then I had weak moments where it's like I tried to call her in this December, she didn't pick up, and then he's like, you took me off you deleted me from Instagram. I was like, I was trying to heal. It wasn't nothing against you.
It's nothing personal.
Yeah, it's like I'm trying to heal. I can't see your little face on my and so
that's why you got to.
I just mute people.
I was like, fuck it. I'll delete the number. And then, I was just looking at my phone and I saw a text come up. I was like, oh shit. And then Apple will say, maybe it's this person.
Yeah, they love that. Maybe
they know who it is.
Yeah, and then her photo came back up. I was like, God.
Then they be like, you want to accept the new updated contact details? And it's like,
they change pictures.
It's like a picture of her in a dress looking like Journey Smollett last night. The NAACP.
Oh my God.
I missed that. We got to go over that.
I have never seen cleavage cleave like this.
That
shit was cleaving like a motherfucking dog. Crazy. I was like, what is happening?
And don't take no photos and no pictures. Like I said, Apple has its own memory. So periodically you hit your phone and they be like, you remember when you took a whole bunch of ass pictures on this day?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. I didn't even know she could do this.
Well, because she's she's kind of like tiny.
Right.
And then, you're just like, I've always thought she was
I wonder if she just I knew she was cute, but I just wonder if it was if this is actually acting. She's such a good actress, she made her boobs act huge.
I don't know. And then obviously they
need their own script.
Yeah, she was
their own character.
It's just method acting. She was like, and also I spent some time studying breast moves, and now I did some breast work, and
ain't nothing wrong with that.
Now I'm gonna get different roles. But
and she's a mom, and a lot of times women look better after they have kids. And I remember this woman, this girl, when we were in high school, she was always cute. And then one time, this was 10, 15 years later after high school, we were in our maybe 20s or 30s. I ran into her. I was like, Jesus Christ, you're a real woman now.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's funny though that because the thing that Apple will also do is if you go to your photos apps, it creates its own memory collages for you
with music and everything.
And it has music, and the thing is, it doesn't name it anything that would be like you and your ex. It names it like summer at the New York Central Park Zoo.
Yeah, because it
And
knows
then-
where you are.
And you're like,
Mhm.
what was I doing? Oh, it's me and my ex. Oh, yeah, I remember we had those churros. Oh,
Mhm.
man,
And
I
then
should call her.
the first chords of "I Wish I Never Met Her" or
Yeah,
Stop playing.
right. The song,
maybe
the
in
song,
another life.
right. The song is like missing you or some shit.
Yeah.
Hey, so speaking of which, do you ever sing on the dates? Because like you also can sing, you're an actor and all this stuff. I'm sure it comes up. Have you ever whipped out the singing voice on them?
Sometimes if they ask or something. But I said there has to be some. No, I shouldn't say that.
Chemistry.
I'm not gonna. Yeah, sometimes they make you sing. They ask.
Richard Pryor did say you got to sing to get some pussy.
He did say that. Yeah. He said that. I remember
Now
that.
you gotta sing.
You gotta
pussy.
put some
Yeah. Yeah. You do whatever. You use whatever you got in your arsenal to show them a good time, and yeah, man. And then
That's cool,
Barry
though.
said that nice peanut
like
butter.
when they ask you to sing, do you pretend to not want to, or do you like step into it like Spotlight?
I just be like, oh my
You
god,
pulls out a microphone from nowhere, like,
yeah.
oh, I can't believe you.
Spotlight all shines.
Can't believe you're asking me to do this.
Like you had your own spotlight. It's been there the whole time, girl.
Yeah.
Have you ever met somebody where they because you've been in the public eye, you've been like out in the public. Have you ever met somebody that's like, oh, I know you from television or from comedy or anything like that yet? Because that kind of goes with the process.
Yeah, like I am like not famous. There have been some women that say, oh, you're famous, or a woman recently said, you're a public figure, so if something happened to me, they'd know. And I was like, Jesus, I just want to get you a burger and kiss you good night.
How do we go here?
Oh my god.
She was just saying she was chill. She was just like, I'm not worried about it because you're kind of
it's always the reason that it's funny to me is just life for women is so scary.
Yeah.
And every once in a while they give us men like a small peek into it, and it's something they take. It's something that they have to constantly assess all the time.
Yes.
And, even as a black man, it's something I assess sometimes, but it's very specific situations that I even think about my safety like that.
Yeah.
But every once in a while is especially if they like trust you or they like you, they'll just kind of like let you in a peek into their brain for a second. And it's like it's like they're living as the central character in a potential true crime documentary all the time. So it's like
I can always be a victim.
Yeah,
that's how you wake up every day.
Yeah, so like talking to them, and they're just like, "Oh no, it's fine." Because I told several people we were where I was before we went on the date. And you're like, "Oh yeah, totally understandable."
Yeah,
but also, holy shit.
Yeah, and people take pictures of tags and send it to their friends and shit like that. They go, "No. If something happens to me, they're gonna know what's happening."
Right.
Yeah. Some like you, because I mean, Maryland is on the Mason-Dixon line, but I still consider myself a Southern gentleman. I was raised by one.
Right.
And it's like and then like growing up, wherever you grow up in the suburbs, when you start dating somebody, you pick them up, Right. And in the city, you're in a city area, and it's like, I could pick you up, but it's not like trying to be creepy or anything. You said, well, you could, some will let you pick them up like near where they live.
Right.
Or like you meet them somewhere, you meet them at the restaurant or the spot, wherever it is. And then once they get comfortable with you, you could take them home, or you could like they'll give you, when you exchange numbers on the app, they'll give you a Google Voice number. If they trust you. If they trust you, then they'll give you their regular number. And when they give you that regular number, you're like, gotcha, bitch. And then then you start.
Right.
I was crazy the whole time.
Right.
Yeah.
That shit that men don't think about.
I think men think about it, but they don't think about it from the perspective. Like, men think they're the exception.
Right.
Like, even like, I'm sure even crazy dudes think they're the exception, but like, a lot of men are like, but I'm not like that. But that's not where you need to get caught up, you know. And I think the good dudes, good people, smart people don't get caught up in that. It's like, yeah, of course, you know.
Yeah.
Like let's meet in a neutral location like it's a gang fight. I don't want to like
I'll meet you there,
because I can only speak for myself, but like I don't ever want to be somebody's fucking like reason to be scared. You see what I'm saying? Like, when I go walking by myself, if there's like a woman walking along ahead of me, I'll like either slow down or
cross
like briskly try to pass or cross over to the other side of the track, because like I'm not trying to be a fucking weirdo, and I don't want you thinking like, I don't want to even disturb your groove. Like, continue to about your life.
Agreed.
You know, you're coming in like a convenience store at night or something, or someone's pumping gas. I'm like, I'm not even looking over, man. I don't even want you to think that I'm like, hey, lady, what's you need like, something? Like, nope, I don't want to talk. You know?
Yes. Yeah. And sometimes it's very frustrating, because I remember this happened years ago. I was at a stoplight and a car full of dudes pulled up beside me, and the whole time they was trying to get my attention. Now I'm in the car by myself. I flat ignored them the whole time. And the second I could go through that light, I went through that light.
Right, yeah.
Because in my mind, I was like, I don't know what you want. It's a bunch of y'all. I don't want whatever you're trying to sell. I don't want it. And it's more y'all than me.
Right.
And you like in my mind, it's like you for one, you go in panic mode.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think like I'll just say, because I'll tell women, I'll say like, hey, if it doesn't work out, then I'm not gonna stalk you. There's a couple tolls that I had to pay to come do that. I'd say I'll be disappointed, but if I drive past your like exit or something, I'll be like, I had a couple good nights, man. I'll chalk it up to that. Or I was talking to one of my homies. He was like,
well, that's the other thing too. Does being a comedian give you license to make like? Is it easier to be like, I'm gonna have a couple jokes, but it's not like it's just jokes. It's not. I'm not really, serious about it.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like it's a kind of about, as a comedian, like, yeah, maybe I get a story out of it, but it's really like trying to live the full human experience, and then really trying to have.
What I mean is like, do they expect you to be funny, or is there leeway for like you make a joke that where they're like almost like expecting you to be funny and make jokes about stuff?
I think sometimes they think that, but like that's just like that's my one of my jobs. But one woman told me, this woman I went on a date with this past week, she said, I could tell you're probably really funny because you don't really try to crack jokes all the time.
That's what I was gonna say. Hanging out with Chris is funny because Chris is not on. No, like it's not like I never feel like he's doing a bit on me right now, or he's about like, some comedians do this sometimes. You have friends that are comedians where you're talking to them and then realize like halfway through, like this nigga's just doing a bit. Like I don't even need to be here for this shit. Like, hey, man, you watch any of them NBA games? You're like, yeah, man, I saw the Lakers play man, what's crazy is they got such and such on the floor.
Like, how did I get trapped in a 10-minute set?
Yeah, like you're on a Byron Allen, you're on the set of
And I always just wonder, like on a date, if someone knows you're a comedian, if it's almost expected for you to like, you need to be funny and cracking jokes, or is it more like thank God you're not here working out material on this date,
Yeah, like I think I try to try to make them laugh or have a good time, but like I don't try to force it. And I think one of the reasons is because I went to theater conservatory where I was around people that were always on, and it was just like, I don't want to be that dude. Like I love performing just like everybody else here, but you just don't want to be that guy. Because that could be annoying, but
okay.
For me, everybody's different, but
so you would sing to get some, but not crack jokes to get some. I got it now. I figured it out.
Well, just I think that women, black women, I guess.
Chris, can you sing me something? I wasn't prepared for this. The very first time.
Yeah, right. That's how it goes. I don't know. You're not like him. You're so different. You still in my mind.
Why would it dark?
Like four niggas come from
Yeah.
behind them.
Yeah. They
Yeah,
like, I mean, they like R&B. They like,
Yeah.
it's not that white women don't like it, but it's just like
It's just
you can
harder.
kind of, yeah, you can tap in, or I think it's just it's a
That would be
shorthand.
funny if you go on a date with a white lady and she does the like, oh, can you sing? And then you sing like Nirvana or some shit.
hey, that's hilarious.
Oh, no. I'm sorry, I only know 2 white songs.
That's all I know. Hey, Chris. I've been out in the dating world. Have you ever met a woman that's actually really funny? Because women are really funny, but a lot of times when it comes to dating and dates, a lot of times some women kind of calm that down because a lot of men are intimidated by very funny women. And so, so I'm asking, like, have you ever interacted with a funny woman? I mean, and you're a comedian too. And so it's one of the things, well, it's a respect thing versus a lot of men have egos about a woman that is actually funnier than them.
See, that for me, like a woman that's funny, that's attractive to me. That's a turn on.
Right.
So I don't, and for a long time, what I had to realize was like, I'm attracted to women that are artistically talented like that. So it's kind of like, and then you're kind of trying to date people that are in your circle, and it's like, I don't know about that. Like, I'd rather just kind of date somebody that that's not really in the industry. If something happened, that would be cool, but like,
Right.
I feel like there's also mad funny people that just aren't in the industry.
Yeah, but
like there's just so many people
they,
that are funny. They're not trying to do anything with it. They're just funny is funny anyway.
Right.
But women that I've met, like, that have been funny, like, yeah, I think it's cool when they have like a personality or something.
Yes.
Like, I shouldn't be the one, not just as a comedian, but as a man to do what are you bringing to the table? Like, as a woman, not just your vagina, not just your private parts. It's like, what do you, and it's not even like a financial thing. It's just like, what do you bring to the table as a person? How can we like build on this?
I know there's people that prefer the seriousness of things, but I need somebody that's funny because I need to always have that accessible. I don't I know there's people who prefer different shit, but like I do not understand how people are just like the serious people all the time. Where it's like, and you see it, in TV shows and shit where you're just like, this is a very serious adult relationship.
It used to be like that.
They don't make jokes and nothing's funny to them.
You got high blood pressure, high cholesterol. You about to punch and fight everybody in your family because you have no way to release the shit that's happening in your life.
Not my shit.
Yeah, because it's like the world. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. You got it. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, we talked about how the world is crazy and everything, and you just need your little piece of heaven. When you're with this person, like, you can feel like, it's never going to be perfect, but you have a connection with that person. You can love on each other and deal with all of that bullshit together.
Is social media and the internet like affecting dating? Like, does that stuff ever come up? Because I feel like if you log on to social media, it feels like everything is man versus woman, especially black man versus black woman all the time. And I know people do consume that content, and there's a lot of like projection that happens, right? Like somebody will make what I call a skit, and it's just like, man finds out baby isn't his, and I'm like, and then absolutely started recording at the exact right time to capture all of this, and and it basically. But people will take those things that are often fake. It's the pop in the balloon thing. They'll take that and extrapolate, right? They're like, I hate when men be having jobs, but then they come in with shoes. And you're like, but doesn't a lot of men have jobs and shoes? And I hate it. And you're like, damn. And I feel like that online environment can make you feel like dating must be terrible and everyone must hate each other and stuff. So is that is that even a thing that comes up in real life on dates, or does everyone think it's silly? Like, if it does come up, or people like, this is real. I need a red balloon to pop on your ass.
I think sometimes it does. Like, in my last relationship, it was like, we I would not consider myself to be but I'm above that
Right.
internet. Some of that should be fun and you be looking at it, or it's fine, but it's like I think there was one woman that said, like, brought up the masculine woman or the feminine, like where, like, they try to say that black women are too masculine,
Mm.
and the way that they talk. I
Yeah.
think one woman brought that up one time, and I was just like, I think you should just be yourself. I mean, a man
Right.
is ultimately going to be a man, and a woman's going to be a woman. But I think I don't know.
Like nobody's ever quoted Kevin Samuels to you on a date? Nothing
Actually,
like that?
let me
Hope not.
see.
They do Uma.
Joking, like my ex would. We would joke about, like,
yeah.
about you, man. I think one woman. I don't think I ever went out with her.
Mhm.
Because some women, you got to worry about being murdered or assaulted.
Right.
Guys, we worry about, like, we get concerned about being catfished or
Right.
something, or what do they call it, neighborhood fished or something like that. Where, like,
Mm.
I matched with this woman one time, and I thought she lived in Newark, New Jersey. Beautiful woman, and I was like, oh wow, okay, cool. Let's talk. And we were talking. She's like, actually, I'm in Canada. I was like, what?
Oh.
You like because they'll say, like, I'm in New York all the time, or I'm in this area all the time. No, you're not. You live in Hartford,
Right.
Connecticut. Like, what are you
Right. So
doing?
that's not the same, right?
Right.
Yeah, so it's like that's hours in a commute. So, and just talking to her, and she mentioned, because Kevin Samuel said, I was like, oh boy. I was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like
It's like
he's
she
the
don't know
fucking
that's a red flag. Like
yeah, it's just like
You,
it's
you
really
say you say
weird.
Dr. Sebi, a conversation is officially over.
well, there's
Yeah.
men that like that type of shit that I'm sure are like, yeah, Kevin Samuels.
Yeah,
Exactly.
girl.
Cause you ain't worth shit, bitch. I'm gonna dog you out. Like, but
Yeah.
I feel like for a lot of dudes, well, for a right-minded person, it's like that's a red flag. You be listening to this crazy man,
Right.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, it's wild, man. Like the way that guy has his influence over people, and it's people trying to take that spot. They want,
Yo,
they want that
it
spot.
really
And
is.
hadn't nobody got the crown yet, but they is fighting.
And there's some people out there that's pretty good. Like, that's not Kevin Samuels, but it's just like,
Right.
hey, you want to try to improve yourself, do this, or respect yourself. And if you don't respect yourself, you can't, like, respect a woman, or
they
like
have 7, 8 followers on YouTube. Here's
yeah.
37 million. You know, like
they're being reasonable.
they out here saying nuance and smart shit.
Yeah,
No.
they ain't saying y'all ain't
Handsome
shit.
man game,
Who's out here
body
saying
game.
like, yeah, he's like, well, do you have at least big titties? No, kill yourself, bitch. Kill yourself. All right, next caller. I'm like, bro, what are you doing?
What is happening?
He was amazing on Atlanta, though.
He was.
That was,
I always remember that.
That was his best performance.
That's what
it really was.
He went out. He was celebrating. He went and got him a Latin woman because he lied to y'all about dating black women.
Oh, it was a Latin woman.
Yeah, it wasn't. She wasn't black.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know how he died? On top of her. Exactly. Just like Color Purple. Anthony Mackie, have you seen the new Black Captain America yet?
I did.
All right. I don't. We did our movie review already. I had a tweet that went extremely viral. I had to mute the tweet because they released a picture of him in the costume. And
yes.
thing I noticed about it was like he doing the face under there.
Yes, he is. Them eyes.
He doing the face.
Can tell.
Yes.
And like
that face.
Everybody else, damn, this shit is now up to 11.3 million views. All right.
Wow.
As soon as I saw it, I didn't explain what the face was, but everybody know the face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Shout out to my man Great Uncle Bob who did this Photoshop of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that.
You know that's what his face looked like up underneath that mask.
He doing the face.
Yes. He always
somebody steal it from Great Uncle Bob? Didn't somebody steal it from him?
And everybody started resharing it without his like, because he doesn't tag his stuff.
You need to watermark that shit.
Yeah, I always retweet them, but I don't think it does enough. And plus, it's the internet. Like, people actually stole my tweet. Like, they were people all of a sudden making the same observation because they seen how many views I got. But I just love that
I love
everybody can tell the face that I'm talking about.
It's just his face. Nothing wrong with it. It's just that's his face.
Yeah.
And he knows it too, right? I think he knows it. He's aware of it.
He's heard about it, but he says that he doesn't understand what's funny about it.
Oh, he don't get the joke.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, dog.
I don't know what to tell you. That shit is hilarious.
That face he be making funny as shit, bro. It's the lip, it's the everything. It's the lips, it's the angle of the head, the eyes, it's everything about that face. It's like he knows something that you don't know.
Yes, he does.
And it cracks me up every single time, man.
Like he about to drop the T if he keep talking.
Right. Mm-hmm. They don't know I'm spade tight, you know?
we about to run Boston on them.
Right.
And then make that face.
Let's talk about some other stuff. I'm gonna play a beat here so that we can insert commercials later. We'll be back in about 30 seconds, everybody. All right, the struggle is real, and it still continues for actor Jeffrey Owens, or is it Joffrey Owens?
I think it's Jeffrey Owens. Yeah.
Okay. Whenever they spell it with the G, it always fuck me up. Jeffrey Owens said he struggles every day to make ends meet, even since his viral 2018 Trader Joe's photo and Nicki Minaj's donation to him. You guys may remember him from the Cosby Show. Remember that video went viral in 2018 because somebody showed him working at Trader Joe's, and then everybody was making jokes about it. Then he ended up getting like a part in Tyler Perry. I think Tyler Perry invited him to join the cast of the Haves and Have Nots, and Nicki Minaj donated $25,000 to him, and he actually donated her money to the Actors Fund in honor of the late Earl Hyman, who played Cliff Huxtable's father on the Cosby Show. He said at the time it seemed like the right thing to do. If Nicki Minaj had hired me for a project that paid me $25,000, I would have thanked her for the work, but this felt different. But he has since returned to working at Trader Joe's and said he's actually better off now than he was when he participated in the show, and explained the misconception around actor pay.
Right. Yeah. But particularly with the writer strike and the actor strike, even a lot of the celebrities started posting them checks. They was like, hey y'all, these residuals is 1 cent. It's not even worth the paper. Like, like they was like, y'all think this is big time money, and it's not for everybody.
And I'll say the friend of the show, the great Janelle James, had this quote. I'm gonna paraphrase it, but she said it on Facebook before she blew up, and she said, I love seeing my friends on TV, but I know that 6 months ago that check that they got was spent about 6 months ago.
Right.
This real shit. And it's like, as somebody who's been a day player, who is a day player, I come close to stuff, but we're working on this shit. But it's like, it's hard. And I can just imagine this guy, they thought they were making fun of him, and that helped boost his career. I mean, he's on Pop. He's got a couple episodes of Papa's House, but it's hard out there, and you can't just. You would have thought that the actors and writers strike and the pandemic would have demystified show business in a lot of ways, but it still hasn't. And it's like, Rod, you and I think the last time you were on the show, but y'all talk about it on here. We talk about it on my show. It's like, it's not, COVID has messed up a lot things in entertainment, the way movies are released, the way they come on video, like that movie Companion, which I thought was a fun movie. 2 weeks in the theater, it's on VOD now. It's
right. You don't give it time. You don't allow people to actually go to the theater, and then everybody's talking about the theaters are dying. It's like, yes, nothing's in the theater long enough. Like, if I don't go literally the first or second opening weekend, I really might as well just wait till it comes on streaming.
Yeah, I just saw Flight Risk. the other day, that Mark Wahlberg movie. I watched it on streaming like 2 or 3 days ago. It's streaming. It was just
Yeah,
yeah.
it was
Um,
just in theaters.
Speaking of time making hard, it's hard to make ends meet, and people out here struggling. Police are scrambling to identify a woman who poached 100,000 organic eggs from a Pennsylvania protein producer. They estimate the current street value of the eggs is $40,000.
Damn, it's serious out here in the egg game street, ain't it?
But that figure could increase based on skyrocketing prices.
Yep, that's why they poached them.
Investigators say Pete and Gary's organic eggs was victimized Saturday evening when one of its distribution trailers was burglarized. The eggs were swiped from outside the firm's headquarters in Greencastle, a borough in south central part of the state. Pennsylvania State Police officials have asked the public to contact them if they have any information on the theft. I just feel like it's an Ocean's 11 type. Like, this was a heist. This wasn't just somebody's stealing a few eggs. They had some inside information.
Yeah, you had to be prepared. Eggs is fragile. So you know they had to be prepared to move a whole bunch of fragile ass eggs somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, it's some Dominic Toretto. Yeah, this is gonna be the next.
It's hilarious.
Next Fast and Furious, they're gonna be stealing eggs. Be driving 20 miles an hour though, so they don't crack them bitches.
One omelet at a time.
Yeah.
A quarter omelet at a time.
And I'm an Eggland's best guy, so that is it's up there. Those prices are expensive. I was in the grocery store yesterday, and they were like, due to the bird flu and whatever, all that stuff, the prices are, whatever. And there weren't that many eggs on the shelf. It's like eggs
don't stay on the shelf.
Now, I went in there the other day. There were no eggs on the shelf, and then there was like quail eggs and shit. I was like, well,
you at Whole Foods or like?
I was at Publix. I was like, I'm not breaking. They had them at the one I'm at.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not breaking 37 quail eggs to make one sandwich. Like, that's crazy. If you can bake, first of all, if you could afford quail eggs before the egg shortage, you was already rich. Like, who the fuck eat quail eggs?
Yeah, it's like, damn.
And the thing is, like they say, we ain't seen nothing yet because the market really hasn't corrected for the bird flu yet. That's what the people have to realize. Like, right now, we're literally just selling what we have. Eventually, it's going to be but we ain't got no eggs for y'all because now we haven't replaced what we had.
Yeah. That's what the bad guys are out here winning. They're stealing eggs and they're selling them. They're probably selling them out in their jacket pockets out at the mall. Like, psst, psst, come over here. Hey,
and shout out to Keith Blair, because shout out to Keith Blair because he gave me a pan recommendation from Amazon. That shit still work. And I got one for my mother too. Technically, it's for me when I go home and I want to make a good omelet. It does not stick. You put that butter in, man.
Oh, what kind of pan is? I
already had
Can you drop that in the chat? If you, it's I think I can find it too, just to let everybody, all of you elite rich people, with your eggs. I'll put it in, find it.
But it is kind of interesting because I just feel like the secondhand egg market about to take off.
You know what it is.
People about to be buying loose eggs. I think that's gonna be the thing.
They're gonna be buying eggs by the twos.
You're gonna be going to your local bodega like, let me get 2 eggs, bro.
They do that, yeah. Like they said that on the news. Like that's what they.
Oh, they're selling eggs like loosies.
Yeah. Like next time you have a date and it's promising, and you get to that second or third date, and it's like, come over, let me cook for you. If you make them an omelet, like, bro, we
gotta get engaged.
Like, this motherfucker, he got money. Okay, this man made me a 3-egg omelet. Okay, girl, I didn't know he had it like that. Comedy must be working out. Okay,
right.
Must be nice.
You go on a date, you bring a grocery bag with you, like, oh, excuse me, let me put my eggs down. I'm sorry, I just had a whole.
Sorry, baby.
I was running a little late. I had to do a little, shopping on my way home. Dozen grade A. Yeah, that's just me. That's just how I do. That's just how I like them organic because I eat them before they don't spoil on me. And if they do, throw them out because I got it like that. Vince Gilligan calls for writers to cut back on villain stories amid current political climate. they become aspirational, he says.
Child, get out of here.
Well, he made Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul. I mean, I feel like he would know. He definitely ushered in an era of bad guy stories. He said, but all things being equal, I think I'd rather be celebrated for creating someone a bit more inspiring. In 2025, it's time to say that out loud, because we are living in an era where bad guys, the real life kind, are running amok. Bad guys who make their own rules, bad guys who, no matter what they tell you, are only out for themselves. Who am I talking about? Well, this is Hollywood, so guess. But here's the weird irony. In our profoundly divided country, everybody seems to agree on one thing. There are too many real life bad guys. It's just we're living in a different reality, so we all got different lists. He added that while he didn't know the solution, he says, a writer speaking to a room full of writers, I have a proposal. It certainly won't fix everything, but I think it's a start. I say we write more good guys, to big applause. For decades, we have made the villains too sexy, with Darth Vader and Hannibal Lecter as examples. Viewers everywhere, all around the world, pay attention. They say, here's this badass. I want to be that cool. When that happens, fictional bad guys stop being precautionary tales that they are intended to be. God help us, they become aspirational.
Mm,
Go ahead, Karen. I'm sorry.
I'm conflicted because my thing is storytelling is storytelling. Like, in my mind, allow the artist to tell the story however they want to tell it. And guess what? There have been stories like that, but you know what they do? They overlook them. They don't get green lighted. Because people make decisions. Because I'm pretty sure what he's demanding has been pitched, has been at some executive desk. Like, all the years people have been writing, nobody is doing what he said. I think
he's winning an award, and he's giving a speech after winning an award, and he's using it to inspire people. And I think what he's saying, I think there's some validity to what he's saying. I think people like Tony Soprano, people like, dude from Breaking Bad, Walt, even The Boys, a lot of this stuff is become like a deluge of bad guy content.
Okay.
Power. There's so much at this point that is almost cliche that the protagonist is the bad guy, in its own way. Righteous Gemstones, which is an amazing show, one of my favorite shows, but the bad guys are the protagonist of these shows. And I can understand why he's saying, like, maybe it's gone too far in this direction now, because so much of the content is that.
Okay, so
to the point where even our heroes are bad guys. Like, I would say the Snyder era was very much heroes are kind of bad guys.
Yeah.
And it starts to corrupt the narratives of good and bad, and it does become a bit aspirational. It does become like, how many people have Breaking Bad shirts and it's got Walt on it? How many people hate Walt's wife because she was the one going, I didn't marry a fucking drug dealer, and I don't think this is okay that you're out here selling meth to the community and hiding it from me. And people are like, God, I hate that bitch Skylar to this day. Like, it does. How many people hated Mello Soprano or whatever, Tony Soprano's wife, where they're like, this bitch won't even let them just like fuck side chicks and kill people on the weekends. What's wrong with her? And now she wants to have an affair? Jesus Christ, she's the worst. So I do think there is something to it where it went from a like 50-50 thing to like so overrepresented with the negative, with the bad guy as the protagonist stories.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, Tony Styles said, yeah, folks don't find Atticus Finch engaging. That's funny. Like, but I think you speak to it. It's kind of, I felt like it started in 1999 when The Sopranos came out, and when this Mel Gibson movie called Payback came out. And I remember the articles being written about it, and it was just like, the bad guy. What makes this guy? He's complex. He's this. He's that. All of these anti-heroes, and that's been 26 years. For 26 years, like, we've heralded all of these people. Maybe it is time to do that. And Vince Gilligan always seemed to me to be like, from interviews and just listening to him talk, seems like a relatively righteous dude. And if you look at what happened to Walter White, you look at what happened to Saul, it didn't end with, and it's like how Denzel feels about like Alonzo from Training Day, where he wrote on the script, "The wages of sin is death."
Right.
Where this guy has to have his comeuppance, or as gregarious and as amazing as that character was, he had his downfall. So yeah, I mean, I think that is interesting, and I think the puzzle to figure out is how to make that Atticus Finch type guy interesting. Atticus Finch was a good dude, and you can always pick apart. You can pick apart a great piece of work like To Kill a Mockingbird, and the person who wrote it didn't seem to like black people. So it's like you could easily pick that apart, and there's things you could do. But yeah, you can make these people interesting. And I thought one of my favorite shows, Mayor of Easttown, that Kate Winslet character was great. She was flawed. She bent the law. And as a person, you could easily try to say something like that might be propaganda off of like on a macro level. But you look at this woman who's troubled and trying to piece.
I mean, but also like not to let let's not let the voices from the internet in on the conversation, because like nobody here would think, oh, you mean that propaganda? Like some asshole would say that on
true.
But
You're
in
right.
real life, people want, if my loved one gets killed and the police are investigating, I would like them to find out who fucking did it. I'm not gonna be like, this is propaganda, right? And this art reflects that in that, and I love the point you made, which is even our traditional good guys can be complicated. They can have moral gray areas. So it's not like having a good guy or a person who is trying to do the right thing is necessarily making something bad or cliche. Much of the art that we think is great, a lot of MCU stuff is like shades of gray in these heroes, but they're trying to be heroes, as opposed to these shows that the protagonist is trying to be a bad person. And it's like, how can we watch this bad person win and get away with it? Which is mostly what people are rooting for, is like, because if you present them as the protagonist and you make all their needs the needs of what the audience views the show through, you end up rooting for the bad guy. I know, because I came into Breaking Bad late and was like, I binged it until the last episode and was like, man, I don't know, I kind of want him to die. And everybody's like, what, you want him to die? And I was like, oh, I haven't been exposed to like 8 years of you guys watching this an hour at a time and then doing podcasts and shit. I haven't been exposed to that. I'm just watching the dude who went from a fucking science teacher to his pride leading to the destruction of his family and everything. He's a piece of shit.
Right.
But most people would not agree with me if they watch. They'd be like, no, fuck you. Walt is right. Fuck his family and all that shit. So it is something. And that's one of the, if you put that on the hierarchy of shows, Breaking Bad's near the top of like, what are the best shows of all time? So it's not like this had no cultural impact. And Vince Gilligan made that shit. I think he has at least a opinion worth considering.
I agree. And like I said, as far as the course correction, yes. I think from my perspective is, what does the audience want? Because you can make these things, but it's going to be up to the audience to determine if they,
what though, the audience doesn't, the audience often does not know what they want until they get it.
Agreed.
Like, it's like how people talk about the NBA All-Star game. Every year they hate the NBA All-Star game. They hate All-Star Weekend every year. Every year the NBA All-Star game makes changes. All-Star Weekend makes changes.
They tweak it consistently.
And you know what those changes are? They're what people were mad about last year.
Yes, sir.
And guess what? They still don't want it. So at some point, it's like they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Everything you said that would fix it, they start doing, and then you go, this shit sucks. You don't know. And then there's times where like they do some shit that you think wouldn't work. Like when they did the in-season tournament, everybody was like, who the fuck asked for this? And then it was a smashing success and everybody loved it. Audiences don't always know, and you can't just like, leadership, inspiration, writing, and creativity is not always about let's just feed the audience. I actually think that's what got us in a lot of trouble with social media.
I agree.
What social media does is it measures your innate unguarded ability to process. So what it says is like, you're scrolling on your timeline. You say, if I sat down with you, I sat down with Chris and said, what do y'all want to see on your timeline? You say, I want to see positive things, jokes, my friends, cat memes. It's like, cool. But I noticed that you stopped for 0.03 seconds when I showed you a picture of when I showed you a video of a woman on fire on the subway. Yeah. So I'm not measuring what your better angels say, what you tell me you want. I'm measuring your naked ability to stop when you see a crash in the street. And I'm going to feed that. And because you will watch it. And so I think someone like Vince Gilligan is saying, just because people will watch it, just because some of these things will be successful, it does. We are storytellers. We are shepherds of society.
Agreed.
It does at some point have an impact on our society. And when we look around and see Donald Trump being spun as like a anti-hero when he's just a bad guy,
right?
You have to feel some measure of responsibility about the stories we're telling and what we're allowing to happen. Yeah. So I can understand, like, there is a responsibility with the platform. If I didn't believe that, this show would just be us talking about black men versus black women and, you know, and whatever the fuck else gets people to stop on a podcast and stay even if they hate the show. We'd be talking about, you know, hip hop and I'd be like arguing with you every day and disrespecting you just because, like, hey, that's what people want to see. It can't always be about what they want to see. And I think Vince Gilligan made a great point.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think, like, even for me, like, the thing that I like more are those like cops shows where I think the BBC does it better than most, where it's like those cop shows where it's like a flawed character that's trying to do right. Their wife won't talk to him. The kid don't like him, but I'm a good detective and I'm gonna find the guy the serial killer that's killing these kids. So it's like and that's what makes that stuff interesting. And I first got introduced to that with Luther, where it's like, you know, Idris Elba, this amazing actor. It's just like, it's great, you know? So yeah, I think if we balance that out.
Now that being said, the call is coming from inside the house, Vince. You gotta do it first.
Right.
Vince be making some villainous ass sexy main characters. And I guess his next project he's working on, I think is gonna have Kim from Better Call Saul in it. And I think it's about her being like a law person or something. So hopefully it will be, maybe that's just another way of promoting his change that he's trying to make to something else. Yeah. But yeah, I would like to see, I just think that it's worth considering. I don't have any solutions. I don't think this solves anything, but I think over time we have sort of like made the good guy into like the corny bullshit of TV and narratives.
Yeah, you need those people too.
We need those. We need them, and we need them to kind of like be complex and badass too, as opposed to just always, you know, like we're rooting for Darth Vader.
Yeah, and also they need to stand up when everybody else is against them, like that. And I think that that's a lesson that, okay, you're solidifying by opinion, because like I said, I was kind of in the middle, but now I understand what you're saying. You need you need good guys to solidify standing up against bad people.
Right.
Because like those people have literally disappeared. They've been silenced. So if you think about it on like a less of an entertainment, but more on a deeper level, this is how you get Donald Trump coming to power and people that are quote unquote good, silence, not saying anything, doing everything, but actually fighting. And so you need a representation of the people that goes, no, I am going to fight against the dark side. No, what you're doing is wrong, and I will not stand for this. More of a revolutionary type of thing.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of revolution stuff have kind of been lost. You know, when
like this last election, I think a lot of Trump support is that they're rooting for the bad guy.
Right.
Like, that's why you can't shock them out of it. That's why you can't say, well, he's a racist. They don't care. Like that's not a deal breaker to them. He's a rapist. I don't care. That I don't like. You're not telling. Matter of fact, fuck you for thinking you can shut him down. Like,
right.
And so that it does have something in it, and I'm sure that especially someone like Gilligan, whose work has become synonymous with like that archetype of a character. And I'm sure when he sees like Walt on a t-shirt at this point, it's kind of fucking him up. Like, nah, that's not the goal. Was not to make you be like, this guy is right.
I know he won't be like, y'all do know he died at the end. Like, I
still remember that he was surprised a bit by the response to Skylar. Like, I remember him being interviewed by, because I went and looked that shit up, because I was like, everybody was like, you're gonna hate Skylar, you're gonna hate Skylar. But because I binged it, she just looked like a motherfucker that was right and needed to get the fuck out of her marriage. Like, she just like, because he just kept doing fuck shit. It was like, and I remember telling people like, so y'all think I would be crazy if my wife started selling meth? And like, she just, I found out she just stopped going to work. She had a burner phone. She was not coming home late at night. She came home bloodied and bruised at times. And when I finally fucking confronted her about it, she cussed me out and said, I am the danger. Y'all would be like, you a bitch for leaving. Hey, man, I don't know what to tell y'all, but that don't seem logical to me.
That don't make sense.
Like, I don't
understand.
Yeah, I know she a white lady, but damn, nigga, like, I don't hate white women that much that I'm like, you dumb bitch, you need to stay there and get killed by the Mexicans.
No, I'm like, run, bitch, run.
Right. But anyway.
She did cheat on him, though. Tried to, but
she tried to. That's that's barely it.
But Carmela tried, I think. But
I know.
Yeah, I don't think I ever. Yeah, I think it's just there wasn't much internet back in 99, early 2000s.
Well, let me tell you this. This is what I always found interesting about that. For the bad guy, we watched him literally murder people.
Mm-hmm.
And to make an equivalent level of like his wife is also a problem is she finally, after years of non-affection, non-communication, being iced out of this man's life, some fine motherfucker or some dude was like, I'm interested in you, and she succumbed to temptation, or even considered it in some cases, right? And we're like, this trifling, treacherous bitch. I can't believe she would do him like that. Like, that tells you a lot about misogyny.
It's definitely a false equivalency.
Yes,
it is.
It's just like this guy's an asshole. So you kind of reap what you sow, but it's like,
and we watched Tony fuck strippers and shit the whole time, by the way.
All the time.
So like, people still remember that Carmela slept with somebody, and they're like someone in the chat, like, she did sleep with AJ Guidance Council. I'm like, and we watched Tony fuck strippers from the club day one. It's like, yeah, but that bitch shouldn't have been cheating. I don't know what she was thinking. Like, it's crazy. Anyway, let's move into a different segment. I see we're coming up to about an hour and a half, so let's do a little bit of let's see. We got Chris on. Let's do some white people news.
Yes. I enjoy doing that with
people do. Exciting to the barbecue, we might be problematic. White people do.
All right. White people news. It's official, everybody. Ben Affleck and J-Lo are divorced and single.
Okay, so they officially.
It's official now.
Okay.
How are we feeling? You gonna be all right? Everybody good?
I think I'm gonna be just fine.
Okay, yeah. Karen's fine. She's already over it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It was approved on January 6th, and it took effect February 21st. So there you guys go. It's a 2-year marriage, and it has now been dissolved. You hate to see it, but it made sense.
Mm-hmm.
Rory Feek's daughter, Hoppy, or maybe Hopi, reveals he is not her biological dad, slams country singer for shaming mom. Disappointing. Chris, you know any of these people?
No, I have to see pictures. I don't know these white people.
Yeah, I don't. This is
what are they? Are they actors or?
Right. This is elite. She said he's a country singer.
Oh, no.
Days after revealing that country singer Rory Feek is not her biological father, Hopi Feek, who was raised by the stars, weighing in on the public response. Hopi, 36, wrote on Instagram February 11th that she was extremely disappointed by a blog post shared earlier that day by Rory, in which he shared personal details of the family's history, including those of her mother, who was previously married to the star. Hopi grew up alongside her sister Heidi, 38, believing that Rory, who raised the girls after splitting from their mom, was her dad. But in an Instagram video shared February 8th, she revealed that a recent 23andMe test had determined her biological father was actually a man named BC, with whom she's gotten really close over the last 6 months. I've never experienced unconditional love like that, she said in the video of meeting BC. At 3 days after Hopies shared the development publicly, Rory, 59, discussed the news in a post shared to his blog titled A Different Dad. The singer said that he'd been getting ready for the day on February 6th when Hopi called him out of the blue, asking to speak in person. The two hadn't seen each other in a year, and Rory wrote that her call felt like an answer to a prayer. I had no idea that what she wanted to talk to me about, and honestly, it didn't matter to me. I just wanted to see her, to have opportunity to look into her eyes and her look into mine, with hopes that she might realize that we aren't enemies and that I love her deeply. And looking back now, I can't help but think my wish came true, although in a way that I never expected. So I guess that was her saying, actually, you're not my real daddy. So he said he did not know he wasn't entirely surprised by the news. He went on to explain why he'd always had suspicion that Hopi was not his, including how she arrived several weeks past her due date, which did not align with when he had returned from a 6-month deployment in the Marines. He also revealed that he and his ex-wife divorced. He'd asked point blank whether Hopi was his, and she said that she said that the child was his, but I guess she lied. Sad to see white people falling out like this, man. So sad.
Family trauma.
Yeah.
I want a fun one, Ron. Divorce and
right.
I thought we were gonna get a fun one.
Well, it's not always good news. It's just white news.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a nice one. Okay. This is
I want to see somebody in their like sun cut dress and going out on a date with somebody, or
well, how about this? Kelsey Grammer and Ted Danson didn't speak for 30 years after Danson confronted him on Chair set. I'm kind of mad you don't show up ready to go, he told him.
Oh.
And he said, he was talking to the New York Post. He said it got a little blown out of proportion. There really wasn't an argument. It was at a time in my life when I was actually going through a lot of self-doubt, self-loathing. Honestly, it was when I was drinking a lot. Ted had just come up and he said, I'm kind of mad at you. Sometimes you don't show up ready to go. And I said, okay, I respect that. And that actually was sort of it. Now, maybe what happened to Ted was he stepped away from what might have been a better friendship. Maybe he just had to protect himself. I don't really know. But I said, thanks. We were fine with that. He didn't think when Danson called out his behavior that it would have greatly impacted their relationship. But the two actors ended up not speaking for the better part of 30 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah, that's crazy. They reunited last year with Cheers co-star Woody Harrelson on the latter's Where Everybody Knows Your Name podcast, where Danson publicly took responsibility for the first time for the fallout with Grammer. I feel like I got stuck a little bit with you during the Cheers years, Danson told Grammer at the time. I have a memory of getting angry at you once. It's stuck in both our memories, but I feel like I missed out on the last 30 years of Kelsey Grammer, and I feel like it's my bad, my doing, and I almost feel like apologizing to you. And he said, no, I don't feel like I apologize to you and that I sat back, and didn't. I really do apologize, Danson added. Grammer then thanked Danson for the apology and said he too wishes he had spent some more time together, saying, my love for you has always been as easy as the day, as easy as the sunrise.
Oh,
see, that was good.
That's good. Because that was just like, he meant like ready to go, like to ready to work, right?
Yeah.
That makes me think of that this week. There was a John Ritter's kid and Gabrielle Union when she was like, hey, I want to rehearse. And he was like, I'm good. It's like, nigga.
Yeah, and she reported because she was like, I want to be prepared. Talking about, I want to come in there and fling and swing. She was like, bitch, I'm black. I can't come in here and improvise. We need to get this chemistry and shit together.
Yeah, like, why would you turn down a rehearsal? So, yeah. Matthew.
I think what's really funny about that, too, is...
I said John Ritter's kid. That's a tank like shit.
I think what's really funny about that too is if you read the whole like article and quote, he does say like she was right. He apologized to her. He was like, but they only shared the headline. That man got roasted up and down social media for that headline. It was like, yo, Gabrielle Union. You ain't talk. Gabrielle Union is 10 times that. I was like, damn, bro. He said he was wrong, and he realized he was
He
wrong.
better man now. He be rehearsing now.
Bill Burr slams Billy Corgan for revealing that they may be half brothers. Why did you feel the need to do that?
I thought that was a prank.
I don't know. It's on the How He Does Stuff. Like, I guess this is Howie Mandel's podcast or something.
Yeah, I saw that. That's like a joke where like because they look alike and everything, and it was like it was a kind of a big thing in white people news where.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for clarifying, because this article from Yahoo treats it 100% serious.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
There's a good, there's a guy, I think it's a guy on YouTube named Comedy Enforcer. And then there's another guy that like reports on this kind of stuff where it's like, no, that was just because I watched it because I love Bill Burr. Yeah. It was just kind of like, no, they were just playing along. But Howie Mandel had Billy Corgan come in and be like, to do this brother shit. And Burr was like, I don't know. But then Burr committed to it. And then it just got weirder and weirder.
Oh, okay.
So like Howie Mandel kind of walked
this
off.
Is them right here.
Yeah.
And they do look alike.
They do. Yeah.
Yes, they do. He's like an older version of Bill.
I thought it was a joke when I read the like setup, and then the whole article treated it serious. So I'm glad that we had you on, because this is why you're here.
Right.
Because I would have read this and been like, I guess they brother. I don't know what the fuck just happened. Other white people news: Black Eyed Peas canceled their 2025 Las Vegas residency.
That's fucked up. You call that way.
I mean, come on, guys.
No, that's funny to me.
It's what white people care about. That's the only rule. The only
Dude,
rule.
You're a hip hop. You guys are hip hop people. Remember when they first came out, man?
And they had the black woman.
Def on the fucking album. It was so. And I remember being excited because it was on Felicity, the music.
Yeah. And they had like a black woman when they first came out. Before they got Fergie. Yeah.
But they got Fergie. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then they got Fergie, and they was like, shit, we about to make this money.
They opened for Justin Timberlake, and like that was Justin. Don't ask me why. No, fuck it. I went Strip Justified tour, Christina Aguilera and Justin Timberlake double headliner thing, and they Black Eyed Peas opened, and when that Ella Funk album, and I was like, the sound is different. Because it's like they had this record with Mos Def that was fire called On My Own, I think. That album, was it called Behind the Front or something like that? And I was just like, oh shit, this is hard. And then the whole song, the second album, I guess, maybe, the whole vibe changed. And I was like, okay, all right. You know.
I mean, they have more hits than I think they get credit for.
Agreed.
Yeah. Just because everybody thinks they're like corny or whatever, but like they had some fucking bops, man.
Well, why did you say they canceled it?
To our dearest Peabodys, which I guess is what they call the Black Eyed Pea fans.
Okay. Oh, okay. I
to
didn't know they had a name.
Peabodys. It is with a heavy heart that, in light of current circumstances, our Las Vegas show will not be moving forward as planned. Ticket providers will issue full refunds automatically. Stay tuned for updates on future performances by following us. We can't wait to see you again.
Oh, so they didn't really say why.
They have not put out further comment. They initially announced the residency in September 2024, claiming that it will elevate their forward-pushing aesthetic. But yeah, they didn't give us any reasons for why they did it.
Oh, it is sold out. People love them as much as people talking about that.
Maybe it could be ticket sales though. You never know.
I didn't think about that. Yeah, they was like, oh, they're not selling. Okay, we're not doing this then.
Yeah,
man, these tickets, like Kendrick Lamar ticket, was not cheap, and a lot of these. It's just then that's another thing that happened with the pandemic, you know, and just everything. Like those tickets are like Beyonce, Tyler, Kendrick. Those big shows, I know they're going to be great, but it's Childish Gambino cheap.
And the thing is, blame Ticketmaster. Ticketmaster is the problem. And not trying to be funny, it's like And a lot of times, once the tickets are out there, people resell them and all that shit. They like quadruple the price. A lot of people are mad about the Cowboy Carter tickets because it didn't go as smoothly as it did for her Renaissance show. And so, like, Ticketmaster site went down and people couldn't get on. Like, it was a fucking mess. And people was like, why am I paying double what I paid for my tickets before? Like, it was a mess. And a lot of that is but you know what? We need somebody in government that goes to Ticketmaster and rein that.
Well, that won't be happening anymore.
Won't be happening.
Ticketmaster being reined in by someone in the government. So, if anything, tickets prices are going up.
Yes, they are.
Look, I went to go get Cowboy Carter tickets. They said them 6 eggs each. I said, y'all motherfuckers crazy? Are y'all out of your fucking minds? 6 eggs? 2 omelets?
Damn, we in the fucking Horizon Forbidden West vibe. Oh fuck, everything's bombed out. You can't.
Yeah, and the thing is, she's not as in as many places. So I was like, bitch, and I got to travel.
Yeah.
Did y'all get tickets?
No, I didn't go. I'm not going to this one because I already got Kendrick tickets and Tyler, the Creator tickets, and I'm at some point.
Yeah,
get the budget.
That's about it. Yeah.
She announced after them, so unfortunately I'm missing out.
Yeah, she announced afterwards.
Also, I didn't get that hard into this album like I did Renaissance, so I would just be taking up someone's seat that actually did fuck with that album, and I'm not into that. Dakota Johnson. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying that Tyler concert is gonna be crazy. I saw where Doechii dropped in on one of the shows.
Yeah, I can't wait. I cannot wait. That's my album of the year from last year.
Yes, it is. My album of the year. Cornucopia was my album.
More than GNX.
No. And I love GNX.
Me too, but I had Cornucopia on.
Cornucopia was the one.
I had that shit on motherfucking repeat.
I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, Buddy has really stepped into like the fullness of his being. The other thing with GNX is most people, if you've been a Kendrick fan your whole life or for a long time, you probably don't have GNX at the top of your list of Kendrick albums.
Right.
I'm not saying it can't be top 5 or whatever, but it's probably not your favorite Kendrick album.
Probably. No,
like
right.
Yeah, so it's and like I don't think it's a knock that he's that great.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like how 40-year-old LeBron's season this year is not in his top 5-10 seasons, but it's also like, well, he was great for 22 years, so he'd be top 5 of anyone else's discography easily. If GNX was in some other artists' like catalog, it'd be their best album, but for him it's like, it's top 5, probably top 10 maybe. But anyway, my point being, I can't wait for both of those shows.
Sure.
Dakota Johnson and Chris Martin are still going strong.
Dakota's an actress.
Yes, Karen.
Okay, my mind has to process that.
I just love the way you said it. She's an actress.
And Chris Martin?
Oh damn, I don't know. He sounds like a AP manager.
AP manager, like at the AMP grocery store.
Accounts payable.
Oh,
because his name is like so basic. I'm sorry.
Well, he is, I believe, a musician.
Singer.
Okay.
Play.
Yeah, one of the biggest bands in the world.
Yes.
5 months after Split rumors had fans in a frenzy, the longtime couple was spotted smiling and holding hands while out in Mumbai, India on Friday. Johnson, 35, visited Mumbai with Martin, 47, ahead of his 3 Music of the Spheres World Tour shows with Coldplay. The rock band has 3 sold-out concerts between Saturday and Tuesday at D.Y. Patel Stadium, one of the country's multi-purpose sports arenas. Coldplay still selling out arenas, dog.
Oh yeah, they've been around forever.
Fuck what y'all talking about with these Ticketmaster prices. We got it. They appeared to be in good spirits and they grinned and waved at photographers. They dressed casually for their outing with the musician in long sleeve Greg Henley shirt and black pants paired with white sneakers and a baseball cap.
This is what I wanted.
Yeah,
all casual.
I know what I'm doing. The 50 Shades of Grey star, for her part, sported a fitted black tank dress with a light blue shirt tied around her waist and black Nike sneakers. She also wore a baseball cap. Johnson and Martin were reported to have split in August of 2024 after 7 years together. However, Johnson's rep swiftly told Page Six there was no truth to the report, adding that they are happily together. The actress then took matters to her own hands by flashing her stunning emerald engagement ring at the photographers while dining with Jeremy Allen White and Blake Lee in Malibu, California.
Oh, shit.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were already married, to be honest with you.
I guess not.
I guess not.
Did you know Dakota Johnson is the daughter of actors Don Johnson and Melanie Griffith? I didn't.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. She previously gushed about being a stepmother figure to Martin's kids, Apple, 20, and Chris Martin was married to Gwyneth Paltrow?
Yes.
Oh, the goop lady?
That's Apple, but that's Apple, baby. That's Apple Daddy.
Karen calls her the goop lady.
Oh my God.
Academy Award winner, Gwyneth Paltrow.
I call her the niggas in Paris lady. So I think Karen is being nicer than I am.
Did she said something about that?
She said the N-word when they was performing it. I think it was her. That Jay-Z and Kanye filmed it. It was a big deal at the time. Okay. Everybody was mad at her.
Yeah, I know that woman from Iron Man. That's about it.
Everybody was mad at her, but I was like,
you can say it.
Yeah, they let her say it. I don't know what the fuck. Yeah. Be mad at them niggas. That's not how that works at all. But yeah.
I always just want to say she was in one of my favorite pleasant ass movies, The High Note, with Tracy Ellis Ross and Kelvin Harrison Jr. Very solid ass rom-com.
And Gwyneth Paltrow was in the Royal Tenenbaums.
Great movie. Great movie.
I know some whiteness. Let's do one more. Lily Allen splits with husband David Harbour and makes drastic decision.
Okay.
Lily Allen has made a major move after splitting from David Harbour. David Harbour plays he's in Stranger Things where he plays the sheriff, but he also plays the Red Guardian in all the Marvel movies.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about now.
Pop star Lily. She's a pop star. I didn't know what she did.
She had a hit in the early 2000s.
Oh, so they're being. It's kind of like saying someone's a porn star. It's like, they've done porn. Pop star Lily thought to be on an exclusive dating app after her marriage to David Harbour says that broke down. The singer 39 was spotted with a profile on celebrity dating app Raya. Her alleged bio reads, looking for someone to start couples therapy with. While she also is said to have indicated she is visiting Los Angeles from New York, it comes after she told podcast listeners she was bored of men. I feel like if you're David Harbour, of the reasons to be breaking up or left, being bored of men is like, okay, well, shit, it's not. It's all the men,
right? It's not personal against me.
Doesn't seem like I really did anything to contribute to this.
Trying to make him feel bad, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Lily's Raya profile is said to have popped up last week for users who told the app they are women interested in dating other women. That's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Like, that's why I don't think it could be bad for him. It's
no.
Listen, if you decide you don't even want anyone with the penis, I
have no control over that.
You know, I can't do nothing if you just wake up and change your mind.
Mm-hmm.
It's not clear what preferences Lily's profile had set and whether she was looking for love or friendship. Last week, Lily was seen having removed her wedding ring. The pop star hosts BBC Sounds podcast Miss Me alongside close friend Maquita Oliver and had been interviewing Maquita's mom, Andy Oliver, in clips from the podcast shared on Lily's Instagram. She gestured with her bare hands with both her engagement and wedding ring missing. She confessed she had been struggling and spending time away from her Stranger Things star husband, 49. Lily and David co-parent Lily's two daughters, Ethel Mary, 12, and Marnie Rose, 11, alongside her ex-husband, Sam Cooper. Lily previously admitted to meeting David on Raya, speaking on the Jonathan Ross show last year. Lily spoke to meeting David, who played Jim Hopper in his hit Netflix science fiction drama Stranger Things. So, yeah, they broke up, man. Well, hopefully David will be all right. I mean, he seemed like things are on the rise in his career.
He
Thunderbolt
trying,
dropping soon.
trying to save the world with Thunderbolts.
Yeah, and he's like a big slice of beef,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm excited about Thunderbolts. I think it's gonna be good.
Me too.
Yeah, I want to see it.
Last one. Jody Turner Smith says Joshua Jackson hasn't paid child support.
Oh shit!
Oh my God, not my Vanilla King.
Deadbeat white daddies.
I
They
thought
love
he was
man.
different.
Pacey.
Yeah,
Nigga,
Pacey.
fuck him up.
And he got a type because didn't he start dating Lupita after this?
Yeah, I ain't like that.
Yeah. And now, she broke up with like Sal Masekela to be with that dude. I thought Sal was winning. I said, yo, he won at life. He just hollered at her on the airplane and somehow that shit worked out. I was like, he living the dream. And then she on the beach with Passy. And I'm like, where's Jody Turner Smith? And turns out somewhere not getting child support.
Keep it cool, man. I'm Pacey, not Pacey.
Oh, I don't know how you pronounce this shit. It's white people news. But yeah, amid their ongoing divorce, she has filed a request to receive child and spousal support from Joshua Jackson. In a filing made Monday with the Los Angeles County Superior Court, the 38-year-old British actress is requesting $8,543 per month in child support and $28,641 per month in spousal support and other retroactive payments. She is also seeking $250,000 to cover attorney fees and forensic accounting costs.
Get your money.
She originally filed for divorce from 46-year-old Jackson in October 2023. Originally, she waived spousal support, but changed her stance over Jackson's alleged refusal to negotiate reasonable payments in their proceedings. She also accused Jackson.
She's like, oh, you don't want to be reasonable, so let's all be unreasonable.
Right. He said, look, I'm white, but I'm still a Jackson. I'm not paying anything.
Jackson, this not black. I seen that white man. I was like, Jackson.
She also accused Jackson of prolonging the process, making it difficult to support herself and their daughter, Juno, born April 2020. All I have asked for since the inception of this matter is to be allowed to maintain a strong relationship between Juno and me while managing a full-time work schedule to support our daughter and myself, she said in the filing. Josh has run up my attorney's fees and forensic accounting costs and has made this dissolution far more difficult than necessary. Elsewhere in the court request, she claims Jackson provided the family with a high standard of living during their marriage and pointed out she doesn't receive as many job offers compared to Jackson, whose career spans decades and who has historically earned a higher income than her. Jackson is currently starring in ABC's Dr. Odyssey, which premiered this fall.
They both be working, but I can see, he's kind of been in the game longer. He was a youngin' when he started.
Right.
She's working a lot, but man.
She said, Josh promised to always support me and assure me that I would not have to worry about financial security for our daughter if we ever separated, because he said he understood how difficult life can be as a black woman and a single mother.
Oh, now she a black. Let me stop.
I just feel bad because he said I can understand, and then he was like, I told you it could be difficult. That's what I was saying. I'm not gonna
because you think about it, like he was talking about how he came up hard without his father around, like, just stories that I know of, just like kind of being a fan of the Dawson's Creek and shit, and him coming up. So,
that's got to be a hell of a mind fuck on her.
Yeah,
because he seemed like he understood, and then what a betrayal to be like, actually, I don't understand. Good luck.
Agreed.
Now he is reneging on that promise and using litigation tactics to delay to pressure me into agreeing to a settlement that is neither equitable nor has any legal foundation. Another dispute over the ownership of their California property is also referenced in the new filing. While Jackson claims that the couple's former property in Topanga, California is solely owned by him, Turner Smith alleges she contributed $800,000 to his down payment. Jackson also reportedly asked her to move out from their home at the time of their separation in 2023. Ooh. Since then, Turner Smith has been living in rental homes in Los Angeles, Vancouver, and London with their daughter. I've not been able to maintain the status quo based on my earnings, as I make and have always made less than Josh. Given my ever-changing work obligations, I'm striving to provide a stable environment for our daughter so that she can enjoy the same standard of living with both parents. So March 20th will be a hearing on this.
Yeah, I hope they make it work, man, because for the kids' sake, because when you got a kid involved, it's
right.
It's not good.
Well, I just wonder what he's telling Lupita.
Good question.
Because he gotta be telling her something like that's like I'm sure he telling her that same black woman shit too. Like, listen, I know how hard it is for y'all sisters out here. And hold on, I'm getting a call. You know what? I'm gonna send it to voicemail. I don't want to talk to that bitch. Yeah, but it's hard out here for y'all. It's hard. You know what I'm saying? I'm a multi-talented, multifaceted person, and I'm a creative, and I just think you're so gorgeous. And is it my turn to sing?
Jawan said Lupita broke up with him last year, so
okay,
good.
All right, I just know they was together. Maybe this came out.
He got a type. Now we know he definitely has a type.
Yeah, that's some sisters that better watch out.
Yeah, and I do not. I get it. Let's just say I get it, Josh. Okay.
Yeah. Watch out, Doechii. Okay.
Oh,
you got it right.
Yep.
Oh, please.
Oh, yeah.
He look. I'm looking around.
Yeah.
All right. Last thing. Let's talk about sword ratchetness, and then we'll get out of here, guys. It's been a fun time as always. Officer cut after man wields samurai sword.
Oh.
Man wielding a samurai sword has sparked a police operation in Sydney's West, with the officer suffering a cut to the leg during the incident. 46-year-old armed with a samurai sword refused to speak with police. With police negotiators and tactical operations unit, he brought in as part of an operation. Officers believed a woman believed to be in her 50s was also inside the home at the time. They managed to assist her from the home without incident. The man was arrested more than an hour and a half later. He was taken to the hospital for assessment, but an officer suffered a cut to the leg during the arrest and was also taken to the hospital for treatment. Officer remained in the hospital in stable condition. Inquiries are ongoing. So there you guys go. They got these swords in Australia, cutting people down under, Chris, tell everybody where to find you, the podcast, stand up, all that stuff.
You can find me Chris Lamberth at Chris Lamberth on Instagram, chrislamberth.com, which is a link to my link tree. You can get tickets for my shows on June 27th, 6/27, 2025 at Caveat. I'm doing stand-up. We're taping it. It's a special. It's going to be really fun. I would love to have you there. If you've liked anything I've ever done, come to this show. I put my heart and soul into it, man, and it's going to be a good time. You will have fun. You will laugh. You will wet yourself. You make it an event. Take your loved one to dinner. Go to the show, and you will have a good time. And
take somebody on a date. Sing to them.
Sing to them after the show. Let me be the laughter of lubricant. And then you take your partner home and you passionately make love to them. And you say, oh my God, I can't believe I got you pregnant on the night that we went to see Chris Lamberth in concert, and we have a beautiful life together. Yes. Why don't you do that?
Let's name baby Chris.
Yeah, fly them out. Fly somebody out. Get somebody on the internet. Get one of these Instagram models. Say, DM her and say, you're very beautiful. Why don't you come in from where you are? I'll fly you into New York, and you can come in and see the show.
And if it's an interracial date, name the baby Jalen.
Right, and he'll be a basketball player or football. Like it's like I don't see why you haven't bought tickets now. If you get tickets now, if you're an early bird, tickets are $15 until May 28th.
That's it in America. Y'all, you can't get 3 eggs for $15. You sure can.
Dude, I was in a scene with Melissa McCarthy in an Oscar-nominated. I helped her get an Oscar nomination. As an exterminator, I was like, hey, I don't think I could clean in here until you fix this, white lady. Right. And she got nominated. I was in a Broadway show. I didn't have any lines.
Lehman
But I was
Brothers.
in that show at the end. The guy who was married to the mayor of Easttown directed it. He was married to Kate Winslet. He directed me in a show.
Right.
And it's like, it's amazing. Like I was in a
That's
scene.
not worth $15. That's not
What?
worth $15. Are you insane? Buy the tickets now, you dummy.
And I know people don't like her anymore. I was in a scene with Tiffany Haddish and on the show. I've done cool shit. So come to New York. Come to this show, June 27th. It's going to be fun. And I'm going to come back on. Ron and Karen will have me back on the show. And I will cry and come. I will sing to you to come to the show a week or two before the show. You know, it'll be good. Trust me.
All right, y'all. We'll be back throughout the week. And like I said, the live show is this Friday, so we may stop shows earlier this week so that we get prepared for that. But yeah, we'll see you guys live Friday and possibly at least one more episode throughout this week. But Chris, always great to see you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
Always, man. And until next time, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah. Bye.